back to the Sylvia Career Podcast, where we have conversations that matter. Before we go ahead in today's conversation, let's recap what we did in the last episode, which we talked about leadership, that leadership is not really a title, it's about influence. So today we have a new guest in studio, and I'm going to let her introduce herself. So Julie, why don't you go ahead and introduce yourself?
Thank you so much, Sylvia. It's really an honor to be part of the podcast. And just in brief, I'm Julie Lasu. I'm a project management professional. My experience is mostly in the nonprofit sector, so the NGO space. And I'm glad to share my journey today and inspire others who are within the NGO sector or thinking to transition into the NGO space. So my story is very unique, and I can't wait to just share nuggets of wisdom here and there. So thank you so much.
Awesome. Julie, it's such a pleasant time to have a conversation with you, talking about transitioning from NGO into other fields that somebody might like. But I'd like you to tell us a little more about your career journey in the NGO space. How did it start? Is it something you always wanted to, or how did you end up there?
Okay, I think it's quite interesting. Maybe I can say it comes from the fact that I love community projects. Let me say that in brief. So I always thought, how would I contribute towards elevating communities in different sectors, specifically my own community in South Sudan, because I'm South Sudanese. Of course, although I've basically lived in Kenya most of my life, but I always just felt that I wanted to contribute towards improving the situation of people back home.
Awesome.
So I felt that would have been the most straightforward way for me to do that.
All right.
My dad, may his soul rest in peace, he was also in the nonprofit sector.
Okay.
So I don't know if then we can say it might have informed my decision.
Yes.
But from a tender age, I always just wanted to be in that space.
All right.
So I think the first time I thought about my career was in high school. And it came from the history books. So whenever would go through history,
yes,
and would talk about non-governmental organizations, the UN.
Yes.
So I would see photos of the UN General Councils. You know how all the countries, the representatives sit together.
Yes.
And they talk and they make decisions about how different countries, like the interventions that will be done for different countries.
Yes.
And I think that's what sparked my initial interest in going into the NGO space at that age. Previously, from primary, I think I wanted to be a lawyer. And I always say that I still see it because I also like arguing both sides of issues or topics. And my arguments are very logical. So I like just being logical about an issue and finding a solution to it. So that has worked very well in my career, managing projects in the NGO space. So that's why I pursued my bachelor's degree in international relations. And it's because I wanted to already place myself within the NGO sector automatically, because mostly you'll see even in job adverts when they're advertising for jobs, they'll say, oh, you should have a degree in international relations, international studies. So that's where I started. Then I did my master's in project management because I was trying to think, okay, international relations is very wide. I did a lot of different courses within international relations. diplomacy, peace and conflict studies.
Okay.
There was a lot. So I was like, how do I place myself within the NGO space? And I thought of project management, because then that puts me in a very central department, because basically you are managing projects from initiation stage all the way to the project closure. And it's also one of my talents, because I love organizing, I love coordinating outside the workspace. When it comes to traveling, I'm like the go-to in the group. I organize even very small things that I have to do. So I thought, how best to complement my bachelor's by then being very specific on what department I want to be in. Yeah, so coupled with that, once I was done with school, I came back to Kenya, and I stayed for some months. Then I embarked on my journey to go look for a job in South Sudan. And I don't know, maybe I didn't really know what to expect.
Yes.
Because I didn't really grow up in South Sudan. Yes, I was born in South Sudan. At the time, it was Southern Sudan.
Okay.
Because Sudan and South Sudan at the time was one country.
Yes.
So I was born in Southern Sudan, in Juba, but we relocated to Khartoum in Sudan due to the war. So I never really grew up there. So I grew up predominantly in Khartoum for about 8 years. By the time I was 9, we now relocated to Kenya.
Okay.
So basically, I've done my primary, secondary, bachelor's all in Kenya. And I speak Swahili fluently.
I know.
I had to go through the 844 system. So you can imagine coming from an Arabic
country
background and having to learn Kiswahili at such a tender age. It was very tough, but yeah.
And your Kiswahili is so good. That's why we can just have a Swahili conversation.
Yes.
Let me take you back to your growing up. You said something so profound that you watched your dad. Yes. Really, so that I can almost tell that you just had a very beautiful relationship with your dad that you actually admire. Yes. Tell me more about that.
Yeah. So in between coming from Juba to Khartoum to Nairobi, I actually didn't see my dad until I was around 9 when we came to Nairobi, because he had already come to Nairobi with my older siblings. I'm the last born in a family of 5 kids. Yeah, so I used to see a TV host in Khartoum back then, and he resembled my dad because there were photos. So I would be like, oh, that's my dad. So we would mostly just speak to him over the phone. But we finally met him. Like, for me personally, I finally met him when I was around 9. We moved to Kenya. So then that's when, because we were with my mom and my other 2 sisters. So me and the sister that I follow, I think maybe that's why we are very close, because we were left with my mom in Khartoum. And then my sister joined my dad here with my 2 elder brothers. So we just talked to him over the phone, and it was nice to meet him and now start forging a relationship with him. Of course, it's different because he's very, let me say it, like academic driven at the time. So it was more about school, about how you do in school. Like he was always encouraging us to do our best.
Wow.
So that's what I can say in brief. But I think I saw how the marriage of my parents were, and it just always now informs me how I will be in my own family. The fact that you support each other, so whichever parent is with the other kids, you take care of those kids until you reunite.
Wow.
So that's what I saw, a lot of support between the 2 of them, a lot of what do you call it, conversations, because basically that was long distance for them.
Yeah, true
that.
And
he was here. So and then after coming back to Kenya, and we lived with him for some years, then he got a job in West Africa. So that now became another cycle of us
Relocating.
Seeing him, no, we didn't relocate. We
Okay.
stayed with mom, but then he went ahead because he was mostly in those UN missions in West African countries that had a lot of civil rife. Yeah. So most of those countries, sometimes they don't allow you to relocate with your family.
Okay.
So you have to basically be the only one, and it's a field mission. So so just see him whenever he would come. We'll go through grades from primary at the time because I started when we moved to Kenya. I started in class 3. So basically, just him coming in, seeing how our results are. Of course, those parents.
Yes.
At that time, it was more about you can do better next time. Try your best. So I think I was always that. I had that vigor in me academically. Like I always wanted to perform really well. So I can say that in brief.
Awesome.
Yes.
It's awesome how he influenced you, despite of you
Yes.
having that distance.
Yes.
He'd still influence you into joining what he was doing, and now you found yourself at the heart of it because you observed, and it was something admirable. And when you mentioned about liking to coordinate things, of course, it comes naturally. I observed that because we met recently at an event.
Yes.
And there Julie was organizing and making sure that things are okay. So it looked like intrinsically you like to coordinate. And I also love what you talked about, your naturally being an advocate of some sort on things and matters that, which is really a beautiful thing. So tying your international relations and project management looked like it was just a good blend for you to fit into the NGO space. So how was your experience in the NGO space?
Wow. Okay. Maybe let me just mention one thing. My dad actually, he didn't really see me in the NGO space. He wanted me to be a doctor. Yeah. So even after I had done... I was done with my education and I was already working. He was still always like, I'm waiting for you to go back to school and do medicine. And I was like, oh my God, who is going back to school at this age? I'm like, not me. I'm not going back. But yeah, he always wanted me to be the doctor of the family. I think there was a lot of prestige growing up in our the South Sudanese circles in Kenya.
Okay.
That you are either a doctor, an engineer, mostly those two. So I do have cousins who are doctors, engineers, and so I think my dad always thought I would join my cousins in doing medicine, but no, I don't know. I just felt I don't think I'm made up for
medicine.
The theater and all. I think I would get the ick seeing everything that you see in a hospital. Normally, I don't think I have the heart for it. So, so that's why.
So how did you talk him out of that?
I don't know if I did, actually.
Or eventually just came around?
I don't know. I think because when I decided to do my bachelor's in international relations, I think maybe he thought eventually I would change. But also remember, he was already traveling by then. Like, he was already based in West Africa. So it means mostly my mom would be the one here and we would just talk over the phone. So even going to university, my admission, everything, my mom was the one taking me for all this. So I think he just had to
come around.
And then for my master's, I applied for it myself. Like I got a partial scholarship also. Because the school where I went to, they look at how you performed in your bachelor's. Then they decide to give a scholarship or not. So it wasn't something you apply for. So you just apply for admission, and then the panel would sit down and see, okay, she did well or well enough in her bachelor's, so we would extend like a partial scholarship. So I did get a partial scholarship. So I did everything by myself. I went online, researched universities to do project management. I applied to, I think, 3 or 4. I got admission, I think, to about 3. Then I talked to my dad. I was like, okay, I've gotten admission in these universities. He said, okay, he does know, I think, a lecturer in one of the universities. It was in the UK. So he said, let me talk to one of the friends or lecturers I know there, and he will pinpoint out of these three which one you would take. So he ended up advising that I joined the University of Salford in Manchester.
All right.
Yeah, for those who like Manchester United. Yes, I've been to Trafford Centre, but I'm not a football fan. I just took one for the team because it was part of the induction. So the students were being taken to different places. So I joined some friends who were Man U fans, and yeah, we saw Trafford Centre and all that. I didn't really care much for it. Sorry, but yeah, I was like, okay, let's go. Yeah, it was lovely. So I'm sure for those that would love to watch a live match, yeah, make it a point to at least visit and experience it.
Beautiful. Now you've gone to the university. You have not becoming the doctor as your parent wanted, and then you end up doing project management and finish school, come back to getting a job in the NGO world to do project management. How was that for you?
Oh, wow. That was also interesting because, as I said, my focus was always, even since I was in primary, was that I'll go back home to South Sudan. So that's exactly what I did. So in when was that? When I came back, that was 2014. So I came back in 2014, I think around April. Actually, I didn't even wait for my visa to finish. Like, I was just like, I'm going back home. Everyone's always like, why didn't you stay abroad? I'm just like, I don't know. I was just there for school. Like, I didn't really feel it was a place I was going to, to live or like finish school and then work there. I just, there was really nothing. I didn't really go through any racism or anything.
Yes.
But I just didn't feel like it was a place I wanted to stay. To visit, of course, I can visit all those countries abroad, but I'm coming back.
Feel it. You want to be home.
The time I was there, the winter, everything. Of course, I met a lot of friends there. I'm still close to them till now.
Yes.
But no, I just didn't feel like it's a place I wanted to stay. Although my dad even wanted me to do my PhD immediately after my master's, but I also revolted. I said no. I want to come back and get experience, then maybe I'll do my PhD. But I never went back to do my PhD. And I don't know if I will. My uncle is pushing like for another master's, I don't know, another PhD, or like doing a PhD. But I don't know. I don't think I'm made to start relocating now to go and pursue my studies.
That tells me something about you. You really love being home.
Yes. I love Africa.
Yes, clearly you love being home.
Yes.
So this is a girl who has studied abroad. You had an opportunity to pursue other interests there, but your interest was home. Yeah. What is it about home? Tell me more.
I don't know. It was just in me. It was intrinsic. I just didn't feel like I wanted to. I don't know. Maybe I felt going through school, primary, secondary. You read a lot about brain drain.
Yes.
Yeah. And how a lot of the professionals would leave Africa and go abroad.
Yes.
And disappear there with all the skills, and then we are left here not having the skill sets that are required.
Yes.
So I always felt like, well, we can do all these things by ourselves. If it's getting the education, we can go get the education and come back and implement. So maybe that's why. Yeah, maybe that's what informed me coming back and not feeling like I have to stay there because I had an opportunity. I know people do want to.
Yes.
But for me, it just...
Yours was on a silver platter, and you declined it.
Yeah, I declined very fast. I remember my sister also talking to me. No. You just stay there in the UK, do your PhD. You get a job after that. Like, you can work part-time. I was like, again? I've already spent 1.5 years here because in the UK, it's the master's is shorter compared to the US. So the US is, I think it's 18 months going to 2 years, depending if it's a technical degree. But in the UK, it was 1 year. Then the other 3 months, you're doing either your dissertation or you're doing an internship or a placement. So a placement basically is a longer version of an internship. So I think mine was, 6 months? Yeah, about 6 months. But internships are mostly 3 months. So you now decide to take one of those 3. So I took a placement, so just to get a bit of experience there. But I had no plans of staying beyond my visa expiring. And as I said, I left before my visa expired. So I was like, I'm done with my report, because I got a youth organization, as an NGO, to do my placement in it. So once I was done, I did my presentation, I finished my write-up in form of a report. I was like, guys, I'm out of here. I donated whatever I had to donate, everything in my small, what do you call it? It's like a bed sitter. It's a studio for students. And then I shipped whatever I couldn't carry. I shipped them back here to Kenya, and I was like, see you guys, I'm coming. Because I think my visa was to expire end of April of 2014. I came mid-April, so like 2 weeks before. Yeah, and I know people who would like find a way to extend and stay or do another master's. And I was like, guys, it's enough. Let's go back home. And I had a lot of African friends who also wanted also to go home. So from Tanzania, from Nigeria, and they did. Some of them actually left me there because now they did dissertations, and for them, their dissertations, they were done before I finished my report. So so I wasn't the only African that felt that I needed to come back to Africa.
Wow. So when you arrived home and the journey of looking for a job, how was that?
So as I mentioned, I came to Kenya first for a few months. I really, what do they call it? Perambulate, like you go out, you have fun, because I was like, oh my God, I'm back. Because I also really do identify with Kenya as
home,
my home.
Yes.
So so at the time, my sister's contract had also ended. So she had also come from Juba to Nairobi. So oh my God, that 9 months we were all over town, everywhere. And I had some savings because I was saving when I was there. Just the money that my mom was sending. So I would just save up so that when I come back, I'm not starting from zero. Like I would have something, so I wouldn't
for yourself,
just be asking her for every little thing.
So
we'd go out, would meet friends, but then it came to a point I was like, it's time to now go and find a job back home in South Sudan. So I think that should have been in November. That's when I went back home. So there was a lot of culture shock, as I mentioned, because I've not grown up there, but I still identify it as home. So I resonate with everyone. I know the language, mainly Juba Arabic. I used to speak classical Arabic, basically the Arabic that is spoken in Sudan, which you write from, right to left. So I used to read even the newspaper in Arabic. All subjects in Khartoum at the time where I went for kindergarten and primary was in Arabic. So coming to Kenya, then I had to learn Kiswahili. So that classical Arabic ilipotea, or it's eroded slowly because the South Sudanese community here in Kenya, mostly we spoke the Juba Arabic, which is what we speak at home also. So it's easier. It's like a simpler version of Kiswahili. Or like this Kiswahili we speak. Like within peers, not the one that is used for news. Something like that. So that's what I would classify as Juba Arabic. It's simple. It's even something you can write in English. Like the way you write it is just like writing in English. It's not being written as Arabic. So I went in. There was a bit of culture shock. Yeah, so around that time, at least my sisters were already there, and my cousin, my brother. So it's not that I was finding myself in a space where there's no one to show me around. So I think that was a big plus, and my dad also was there. So my mom was the only one left here in Kenya. So all of us, most of my siblings except our second-born brother, otherwise everyone else
Was there.
in Juba. Yeah. So where did I start? I think I started applying for jobs. I had to work on a CV, something simple. I don't know if I had already done it here in Kenya, and then I went with it. But I just went to see the atmosphere, how it is. So I was mostly home. Then my siblings would go to work. So I stayed for 1 month because then Christmas, we mostly just have our Christmas here in Nairobi. So we all came to Nairobi in December. So I now, once we were done with the festivities in January, now I was more deliberate about
Seeking a job.
So when I went back, it was now really all hands on deck. My siblings should just send me any what do you
job.
call it? Yeah, like any opportunities that they see. And that's how my journey started. So from January, I got my break in maybe around, is it April or May? That's when I got my first interview. And how I got it, my cousin's friend asked her if she knows someone who has done project management.
Yes.
So there was an NGO that was looking for someone
project
who
manager.
who had a background in project management. I was like, oh my God, and I have no experience. I'm just out of school. Mainly just the placement I did at the time.
Yes.
So I was like, okay. So I don't know if I told my siblings to look at my CV. Then I emailed it to my cousin.
Yes.
Then she now sent it to her friend. So it seemed that friend of hers knew the country director of that NGO. Yeah, so this is how I was called for an interview. I prepared myself. I dressed up. Did the part, looking all official. I had a friend that time I was seeing who came, picked me from the house to drop me to the office. It was within the Ministry of Health in Juba, but it was an NGO. Most of the NGOs I worked with were supporting the South Sudanese government in different sectors. So this one was specific in healthcare. Yeah, so I went in for the interview. There was a written test and an oral test. There were like some Excel sheets, I think, doing graphs, which are mostly things I had done.
Yes.
I would say I did those things during computer college. You know how everyone finishes Form 4 back then.
And they rush to do computer studies.
So I did mine, I think, with Rocky. And after, when you join USIU, what happens is that you do 3 tests before you join. So there's English, maths, or I love maths. Maths is my favorite
numbers
subject.
girl.
I love maths. Then there was IT. So I think, after that, once you're taken into the program, you have to do like beginner level. Like I think it was level 1 and 2.
Yes.
They just had specific names to them. And there was IT, and I remember we would do a lot of graphs, and they would give you like a series and then say do a graph or all that. So that came in handy. What I learned in computer studies and what I did in those that first 2 semesters in uni.
Yes.
It really helped. So after that, so I just sat and waited. And I got the job.
Wow.
I got the job and I was like, oh, so is this how it feels to get your first job? So now, like, my schedule changed. Remember before my siblings would go to work, I would be sleeping in. I would wait for them to come out of work in the evening at 5 and pick me, and would go like to different places around. We say Taraf Bahar. Taraf Bahar in Kisud means like beside the river, like River Nile. So there are so many nice places. So I was just used to, that was my schedule because I wasn't working. So later now, I'm now a professional. Yeah,
you've joined the professional field.
I've joined the professional field. I'm learning on the job.
Yes.
Nothing. I always say, our education systems everywhere, whether in Africa or abroad, no, they don't. It's mostly theory. I think the times maybe you learn is when you're doing an internship or placement, but really once you start working, that's when you really understand how the work dynamics are, how to work with colleagues, how to learn from each other, how to collaborate.
Yes.
I don't know. That's when I think you find out about office politics.
Yes.
How people always think like, oh, you're coming in to take their job. And for all my roles, I was always thinking, I'm here for some time.
Yes.
Like, I'm not here to,
You're not
to
here
retire.
to stay. Yes.
To stay. I don't think I've ever had that.
Awesome.
No.
I love that.
I've never had that feeling. I'm just like, I'm here to learn. I'm here to collaborate. I'm here to do my best, to be successful.
Yes.
And then move. Because eventually, I'm not thinking that I'm going to retire from an office. By the time I'm retiring, I've already set up something that I love.
I love that.
I'll tell you more about it.
In a few.
Towards the end. Yeah, and that I can do even for free. I will not even need to be paid for.
Wow.
Yeah, so I don't think I've ever felt like, oh, I'm in this workplace. I'm here to, what do they call it? To, they say corporate ladder.
To climb the corporate ladder.
I don't think I've ever felt like that.
Yes.
I'm always like, okay. And also the good thing is that project management basically places me in, let me say, a managerial role early on in my career, because I go into any job that I've had. I go in and I familiarize myself.
You're fully in.
I'm fully in.
Yeah.
I want to know that project inside out.
Yes.
So if I'm sitting with a donor, if I'm sitting with a stakeholder, I am there to share the knowledge about, I want to be the one knowing everything, because literally that is my role.
Yeah.
So I really immerse myself when I go into any office space.
I love that.
I know everything, the ins and outs of that project, the budget lines, everything. I don't want to be
the surface level
unaware.
kind of knowledge.
I don't like being, I don't want to go into a meeting and I'm so unaware. I just feel so those first weeks when I'm joining an organization, I'm immersing myself into those you you have to read a lot of project documents.
Yes.
For NGO you write proposals,
yes.
then the donors give you the funding, so you work with all that plus the log frame, everything to do that. I really familiarize myself with that so that I know what I'm working with. And I can basically look at it in terms of what risks might come about when we are implementing this project.
Yes.
How to even support the team. Because you're managing a project, which means you're working with a team that are delivering. And also stakeholders, because the dynamics can really, it can be a lot. And it can be challenging, especially in a country like South Sudan, where there are a lot of moving parts. And the environment itself is, a post-war situation where anytime it's very fragile, situation where anytime anything can happen. So those risks, you find them coming up, even during projects where a project can be disrupted because of a civil war that just started out of nowhere. And I think that happened to me in 2016. When I had
2 years on after you've gone back.
Yes. Because I started my first job in 2015.
Oh, that's 1 year.
By 2016, I had already gotten another job. So basically 1 year after my first job, I had gotten my second job. So in my second job, there was a civil war and it disrupted our project at the time. So
beautiful.
Yes. And also during that time, because as as someone who also does donor reporting, I have to report about the situation and even give what challenges we are going through. And a big word for me is adapting or adaptation
Yes.
in the NGO space. You really have to adapt. During such situations, what do? You have activities, you have already the money or the funding to do it. So how do you go about implementing in such a space? Do you pause? Are there specific activities that can still continue even if the different staff members are in different countries?
Yes.
Yeah, because they might have to have left at the time due to the situation. So yeah, it can be very challenging managing projects in a space that is fragile.
War-torn, especially a war-torn area.
Such as my home country.
What should I be looking out for as a person who wants to do project management but in the NGO world? What kind of skill set do I need to have?
Okay, I don't know. I always look at project management as something very practical.
Yes.
Yeah, of course, I did my master's in project management. I learned a lot of theory, but I really feel it has to be something intrinsic in you. You need to be able to enjoy organizing, coordinating,
Yes.
Communicating with teams, mitigating risks, also just making sure that you are also accountable for your team, because you are carrying literally the entire project.
Yes.
Because you're handling very many moving parts. There are so many activities and you're working with so many different team members.
Yes.
Include stakeholders, and stakeholders is basically anyone and everyone that is affected directly or indirectly by your project. So even the people on the ground,
yes,
like the communities that you're working with. So literally, it's something that you have to like doing. Otherwise, you feel very overwhelmed very quickly and stressed. Because some of those projects really require you even sometimes to go to the field. It requires you to even conduct surveys. It needs you to know how to analyze data.
Yes.
Because you'll need this for reporting, but you'll also need this data to tell a story for the donors. This is how much we have done with the funding you've already given us. These are the results that we could achieve within this time frame. Now we are asking you to give us more for us to continue contributing towards a certain impact.
Awesome.
Yeah. So literally, I find it's a very practical field.
So learn the skills in the paperwork in school, but remember to go to the actual place, the field where the actual work is taking place. Awesome.
There's no shortcut. There's no shortcut to it.
All right.
You really need to, even if you'll start even with
the volunteer work.
Volunteer work. I do know a friend back then who started with a trainee program. For me, of course, I went in directly with my first job. But for her, she started with a trainee program.
Okay.
I think at the time it was Save the Children. After that, then it opened up a new field for her.
Awesome.
Yeah. So she immersed herself, and she had come from a corporate background.
All right.
So you can imagine, like, you really need to learn. Basically, you learn a lot on the job. The theory is not enough.
Awesome.
Yeah, the theory is not enough.
Awesome.
You really need to have the willingness to learn, adapt, be agile, really communicate, because it's very easy to assume things within teams. So for you to be able to manage conflict within teams, manage risks, both internal and external, you really need to be able to communicate very well. So I usually say I tend to over communicate because I want everyone to know this is what is happening. This is what we are working with, and this is what we are working towards.
Awesome.
Yeah. So get in there, get the skill sets through volunteer work, through internships. Some are paid, some are not. but just get the skills.
Awesome.
That can at least put your foot in. Yeah.
Awesome. I love that. Now, we've talked about not settling and wanting to put up your own thing to be doing at the end of the work. I love the fact that you went in fully immersing yourself in that moment, but at the back of your mind, you know, I'm not here to stay forever. I mean, not many people are able to tell themselves that. How was it that easy? How was it that easy for you?
I don't know. I think because I was always feeling like if I've already learned all this here, I've not learned everything.
Oh.
So I need to go and learn more. I don't even think with my 8 years or so experience in the NGO space that I've learned everything.
True that.
I'm always learning because also the beauty with project management is that you're working on very unique projects.
Yes.
Yeah. Because if you look at my background,
yes,
the degree I did was more general.
Yes.
So it was just project management. But once I started working in the NGO space, that's when now I started knowing more about sector, like being an expert in a specific sector. So I never did that. Like I was never an expert in one sector. So my first job was in healthcare. So
that's so ironical. You didn't want to be a doctor?
I know.
And then the job took you to the health sector.
It's true. And it's so interesting because that job actually had a component of tech.
Interesting.
And I would never have known. It was my, like, I always reference to it as one of my favorite projects that I worked on. It was a center for managing HIV and AIDS patients.
Yes.
So the organization I was working with, we had funding from USAID at the time, and we had taken in, they call it an EDT program, so electronic dispensing tool. So basically, you see what you have in Kenya, that if you go to a health facility,
yes,
the receptionist writes, inputs your name into the system, and then there's no paperwork, you go in. So this is basically what we were doing. And like, it didn't hit me because now years later, when I was thinking about, the way I've loved tech all my life, like it didn't hit me that actually what I was doing at the time might have been product management.
Clearly it is.
So it had been product management.
Yes.
This was a software. It was designed in the US because our headquarters was in the US. And then it was, they sent a representative to Juba to train us. And then we were training the healthcare workers in that center. So it's really so refreshing. How I learned so much on the job, and they would give me like a white coat. So interesting. And I didn't want
this
to be a
girl who
doctor.
never wanted to be a doctor.
And like I would move around the small center, and people would call me doctor. I don't know, they do that back home. Dictor, they say dictor. That's how we call a doctor. And they would call me a doctor, and I was like, oh my God, no, I'm not a doctor. I'm just assisting. They're like, no, we see you as a doctor because you're wearing the white coat, and we find you here on a daily basis trying to move things around. Like I would troubleshoot the software that we were given. And I didn't really have a background in IT, but I used to really enjoy it. I would troubleshoot and then take screenshots of the error messages and send them to our colleagues in the US, and then they would work on the software, send back another version, and I would install it. And I was like, later on it really hit me. I'm like, that was actually something that product managers do.
Yes.
So when I was thinking about, maybe I can transition to tech, product management was like the most direct, easy way. So anyway, just going back to project management. So I've worked in different projects.
Yes.
The organizations I've worked with, they are very different. So I started in healthcare. I moved to human rights.
Yes.
Yeah.
Advocacy again.
Yes, advocacy. After that, I think I went into research.
Yes.
Then there was media development and media for development, also a bit of information and entertainment and human rights, rule of law, governance, like just holding governments accountable. Then after that, I think I then found myself back in media, but not really. It wasn't an NGO, but it was management consulting, which is totally different.
Totally different.
It's totally different.
This is such a
right?
rich career.
Yes. The transition just happened because I was transitioning into remote work. I love remote work and I love working with deliverables. I don't know. I don't believe in having to sit in an office 9 to 5 for an employer to see me sitting there and saying, oh yeah, she has worked.
Clocking the hours, yeah?
I don't believe in that. I believe in working with deliverables. Once I'm done with my work, if I'm done by 2 p.m., I'm done with my deliverable for the day. Yeah, so there's a lot of control in workplaces where, so maybe that's why
you decided
I found it so
otherwise.
difficult, like going back to an office space. So all my jobs after COVID have been remote.
Yes. Interesting.
So all my jobs have been remote. I've not set foot in an office since the job I had during COVID. And, we had transitioned to working from home because of COVID. Then after that, I just enjoyed working from home. So when it was time to go back to the office, I had gotten another remote, I had gotten a remote job now with a UK consulting firm. So after that, it's just been, I only just look out for remote
work only.
So I feel it's...
What does that mean to you?
It means flexibility.
All right.
It means being able to basically be independent. I also have that a lot. I felt over the years working with different managers, I felt they always decided how I should do my work, which is not bad.
It's not.
We understand, they have more experience.
Yeah.
But I feel a lot of times you don't get to really show your own skills because you're being told, when you're writing this bullet points,
do it a certain way.
Then another line manager, the next job you work, no, you're not supposed to put. Then I started feeling that very early on in my career.
Yes.
I'm like, oh my God, so when am I really going to be able to be me? How can I show my own work in the workplace if everything is being directed by a line manager? So I've felt in the remote roles, I've found that I've had that autonomy. Yeah,
which is very important.
Work,
yes.
Mostly these are independent contractor contracts.
Yes.
So you're not really a full staff. They give you an independent contractor contract, which means you are. It's like you're a consultant.
Yes, you are, not like you
decide your
are.
hours, so I can decide that day I'm starting work at 8 a.m. and I'm done by 3. Or I decide I worked till 7 or even 9, let's say in the night. Then the next day I decided, okay, I'm starting late. I'm starting my day at around 11. As long as I don't have meetings, it's okay. So I think I prefer such, and I've found that in remote work because the office jobs were always you have to report by 8 or 9. You have to leave by 5. If you leave early, people are oogling at you umetoka mapema, you've left early. And I really I don't know. I don't identify with that. Okay. I know they say Gen Zs are the ones that mostly have that, but I'm a millennial.
Yeah.
But I started feeling that really early on in my career. I'm there's so much control around careers and around the workplace. There's very, unless you really get a manager who can vouch for you and allow you to be yourself. Otherwise, most of them end up wanting you to do things a certain way.
Yes.
And it was always so closed off for me.
All right.
So whenever I find situations where I can be myself and be independent, I really flourish in those roles.
Awesome. So it's more of your personality that felt caged and you couldn't produce as much as you felt you could because you were being held back.
Yes.
And honestly, when I left the corporate space personally, there are comments that have come so were you sitting on all these years? Then my response is, really, I was contained. It's not. It was always me. We were contained. That the real me was being shrunk so that a certain way which is to be reproduced by the systems that are operating in the corporate world was being replicated, and it had become on an autopilot. Yeah, so I'm really able to identify with what you mean. So how has been the transition for you?
Oh, wow. What can I say? The transition has been interesting. Maybe let me reference the funding cuts that has happened in the NGO space. It affected me last year because I was working for another consulting firm. It was also a remote role. So we were in different countries. We never met. Most of the remote roles I've worked, I never met my colleagues.
Physically.
We were basically just meeting on either Teams or Google Meet. So it's really been interesting that now it's actually harder to get remote roles compared to before. I remember, was it 2023? I was getting so many roles, and I actually ended up not getting some of them because at the time Kenya did not have a digital nomad permit. So it means that whenever an employer is about to give me an offer, they're like, uko na ID? And I'm like, no, I don't have an ID for Kenya. Mostly I use permits here, but for now they still don't have one for remote workers. So they're like, oh no, sorry, we cannot. So I've really actually lost quite a number of roles, remote roles, before Kenya introduced the digital nomad permit. So now that they've introduced it, I thank God for it. But then now the NGO space is really also changing because there's no much funding. So there's a lot of, the roles are less now and more competitive.
Yes.
So it's more about maybe either people in the space.
The networking.
Or sometimes, networking. Or sometimes it's just God's will for you, because I've noticed 2 of my remote roles, the last 2 I worked, I didn't know anyone. Yeah, all the first jobs, as I had mentioned, those ones I got them through family members or through friends that I knew, or people I had worked with before. So they would say, oh, we have a position here, apply for it. And yes, I went through all the interviews. It was not handed over to me.
Yes.
There was never, I always went through all the interviews.
Yes.
Yeah, and I was great at my work. So it was easy for them to let me know whenever there are vacancies. But the 2 last jobs, the ones I had with the UK consulting firm, and the other one was a Swiss consulting firm. Both of them, I just applied as someone who is just applying for a role,
awesome.
And I got them. So
beautiful.
So I'm seeing as if a lot of people, even back home in South Sudan, a lot of contracts have been have not been renewed. So I'm just in a space thinking, where do I now place myself? Do I continue looking for roles in the NGO space? Do I really now concentrate in the tech space through product management? But also I've tried looking for even internships in product management, and it's still not at the volunteer roles. Yes, I've found them, but I'm always like, I would also really want to intern with a company so I can learn. I don't mind even working part-time and working for free, because I've done that before. I've taken volunteering roles where I wasn't being paid, just so I can learn
the skills.
Yeah. So I don't really look at it as a do or die.
Yeah.
A lot of times. So that's where I'm at. Transitioning to either product management and finding volunteering roles or unpaid roles, or staying on course in the NGO space and trying to find roles within project management, because that's normally the easiest route for me. It's easier for me to get a job there. But with the limited vacancies because of the funding cuts, it's really proving difficult. Or start my own thing, which I think I had mentioned that I started a coaching program. It's called Money Clarity Academy.
I love
that. And
that.
I'm really big on investing. not saving. Because saving
Investing.
is very different. Saving and investing are very different. So it's something that I'm doing right now for free. I did get one client. It was so interesting that I got a client when I had not even set up yet. So I was just talking about a free webinar I had done, and it was mostly targeting South Sudanese professionals in Kenya for me to educate them on what it means to start looking at your finances and thinking about your independence. And maybe this is also because looking at the workplace, I've always not wanted to be so reliant on jobs.
Yes.
Yeah. So I'm always thinking, how can I replace my income?
Corporate income, yes.
And the main way I look at it is that you have to replace your salary using different investment vehicles that can then pay you, and it will remove that desperation that you have as a job seeker. I don't think I'm as desperate now compared to back then. Back then, you would feel like, oh my God, if I don't get a job, like that's the end. I might talk also from a point of privilege a bit, but still, when you're employed, try as much as possible to think of investing in instruments that can replace your salary.
Beautiful.
I follow Pius, and he speaks there, the CEO of NABO.
Beautiful.
And he speaks a lot about replacing your salary.
Awesome.
And I totally agree with that, because then it removes you from that constant, what do you call it? Is it like a...
The race.
Yes, the race, the rat race of having to be employed to survive. It gives you a peace of mind. And secondly, it's also, I think it opens up your creativity.
Yes.
Because I don't think I would have been setting up this coaching program.
Beautiful.
If I was so desperate for a job, because I'm doing these webinars for free until I have enough visibility to start charging for my services. So that's how I look at it.
Beautiful. Now that you mentioned about the coaching, how do we reach you? Maybe you could share your email address so that whoever wants you to get in touch with you to learn some more, so you can share. I'm sure we will put her address on the footnote of this video, so that would help you. Now, thank you very much for coming. It's been such a pleasure having this conversation with you. And I am so glad. I have learned a lot from you. And also, you have really made it clear that you really don't need to settle in one place waiting for retirement, because the current workplace is so volatile. Today, you have a job, tomorrow you don't. So the earlier you adjust your life and how you live your life, the better for you. So definitely, I'm sure there are people who are going to contact you on that part. So it was such a beautiful conversation, and I'm looking forward to another one with you, Julie.
Please, so I can come and talk more about my now deciding the coaching program and whatever God now has planned for me in terms of either continuing in the NGO space or pivoting into tech. Yeah, thank you so much, Sylvia. This was so refreshing.
You're welcome.
Yeah, and I'm so grateful to have this set up with you. And I hope I've been able to educate people on the NGO space, on career.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. That was amazing.
And that they can actually take nuggets from what I've said. And yeah, definitely you can share information in your, what do you call it, the description.
Yes,
then
we'll
people
put
can,
that.
they can reach out. I'm really available to give counsel, to talk to people. I know I'm using legal terms, give counsel.
It comes out naturally.
Yes, it's coming, yeah. So, yeah, I would really love to interact with more people from my home country, South Sudan, and also from Kenya, because I also identify with Kenya as my home. Yeah.
Nice.
Thank you.
You're welcome.